everyone, I'm Prabhashi Pereira and welcome to the first video titled ArrayDeques, a Beginner's Guide. Today we will learn what a deque is, how it works, and why the ArrayDeque class in Java is one of the most efficient data structures for handling elements from both ends. By the end of this video, you'll understand the concept, the methods, and we'll even walk through a simple code demo together. So let's get started. What is a deque? A deque, short for double-ended queue, is a linear collection that allows adding and removing elements from both front and the back. This makes it more flexible than a regular queue or stack. It can act like a queue, that means first in, first out way, or it can act like a stack, that means last in, first out way. So basically, a deque combines the power of both queue and stack. Let's quickly compare. A queue works like a line at a shop. The first person in is the first served. That means first in, first out way. A stack works like a pile of books. The last one placed is the first one taken off. So that means last in, first out way. And a deque allows you to do both, add or remove from either side. This flexibility makes it very useful for many real-world applications. Now that we know what a deque is, let's quickly understand what an ArrayDeque actually means. An ArrayDeque is a special implementation of a deque that uses a resizable array under the hood instead of a linked list. So it keeps all its elements in a continuous block of memory, just like an array. But it can grow and shrink automatically as we add or remove elements. In short, you can think of an ArrayDeque as a flexible, high-speed deque that combines the simplicity of arrays with the flexibility of adding and removing from both ends. This is the version of deque we usually use in Java when we need both queue and stack operations efficiently. In Java, the ArrayDeque class provides an efficient implementation of this double-ended queue. Here are its key benefits. It is fast for adding or removing from both ends. It automatically resizes as you add elements, and it's usually faster than stack or linked list. And it doesn't allow null elements to avoid confusion with empty values. So it's perfect when you need both stack and queue functionalities in one simple structure. You will often see ArrayDeque used in real-world situations like undo functionalities in editors. That means removing the last action the user did. And also when sliding windows algorithms, adding and removing elements efficiently from both ends as the window moves. These examples show just how useful this structure can be. Now we will understand the standard implementation of Java ArrayDeque class. So the java.util ArrayDeque class provides a flexible and efficient array-based implementation of a deque, allowing dynamic resizing and offering essential methods for stack and queue operations. Now let's move to a new section. This section outlines the essential methods of the ArrayDeque class in Java, illustrating how to use them effectively for double-ended queue operations. So before we jump into code, let's look at few important methods you will need. Add first and add last methods to add items at the front or back. Remove first and remove last methods to remove items from either side. And also, there are some more special methods you'll need to know. They are peek and poll methods. So what are those for real? peek first and peek last methods we use to look at the first or last item without removing it. And poll first and poll last methods similar to remove, but they safely return null if empty. So these methods make it easy and safe to work with elements from both ends. Next, let's learn about iteration over an ArrayDeque. So you can easily loop through elements in ArrayDeque using for each loop or an iterator. In terms of this performance, it is fast for insertion and deletion and it's memory efficient. And also it does not allow null elements and it's not thread safe. So it should be used carefully in multi-threaded programs. If you still have any questions or something you'd like me to explain further, just drop them down in the comment section. I'll be happy to help. For more learning, you can check out the official Java documentation for ArrayDeque. Now that we understand the theory, so let's look at how all of these works in Java. I'll walk you through a short code example that demonstrates how to use ArrayDeque for adding, accessing, removing, iterating, and even using it like a stack. So let's switch over to the code. So you have to import the ArrayDeque class from the Java util package to use this. So here we have imported the java.util.arrayDeque class, and also to use the iterator methods, we have imported the java.util.iterator class. And here we have created an empty ArrayDeque of integer type. So the type is here integer. We are creating a new ArrayDeque for integer type. So the variable name we use here is deque. So we are creating it from this ArrayDeque. So to add elements, as we learned before, you can use the add method. So add last and add first methods you can use to add elements to the ArrayDeque. And here offer last method is a safer version of add last. So offer last, add last methods do the same, adding elements to the ArrayDeque. And this is about adding elements at the end. And if you want to add elements at the front, that means from the left side, you can use this add first method and also offer first methods. So offer first is a safer version of add first. So if you get a print of the output using system.out.println, you can have an output like this. So first we add 10, 20, 30 to the array. So here you have them. And then we use the add first methods to add to the left side 5 and then 2. So this is the output you get. And now if you want to access elements without removing, we learn that the peek method. So here to access elements, you can use the peek method. So peek method is a safe. It returns null if empty. And also to get first and last elements, throwing exceptions if empty, you can use these .get first and get last methods. And the next one is removing elements. So to remove elements from both ends, you can use the remove first and remove last method. So remove first will remove the elements from the front side, and remove last method will remove elements from the end side. So if you remove the elements here from the output you remove first, that means you remove 2, and then you remove last, that means you remove 30. So you get the output like 5, 10, 20. So after the peek methods, the next method we learn for safe returns, because this is safe because returns null if empty. So it is the poll method. So you can use the same poll first and poll last to remove elements. And here we can learn how to use this ArrayDeque as a stack. That means last in, first out. Stack. So to use it stack, you can push elements to the top because we use here last in, first out way. So we push elements to the top. That means adding elements to the top, and we remove elements also from the top. So to push elements, we can use the push method. So we can add elements to the top. So as you can see here, we first push Java and then we push Python. That means pushing to the top, and then C++. So here we have again pick the top element without removing. So using pick method. And then to pop elements, that means to remove elements from the stack, we can use these pop methods. So here they have used pop method. So the C++ is removed from the top. And the next one is iterating through an ArrayDeque. For this, you have three methods. So the first one is using for each loop. First, you can add some elements to the array using add method. And then to use the iterating through an ArrayDeque, you can use using for each loop to iterate through the ArrayDeque. And also you can use an iterator, as we imported the iterator class. So here dot iterator method is used. And also the last method is to reverse iteration using descending iterator method. So using these three methods, you can iterate through an ArrayDeque. And here last, if you want to clear the deck, you can use dot clear fruit. So the ArrayDeque array we created is fruit. So using clear method, you can clear the array you created. So that is all about the code demonstration on ArrayDeque in Java. So in summary, we have seen how to create an ArrayDeque, how to add access, remove elements from both ends, how to use it as a stack, and how to iterate through it, and finally how to clear it safely. The ArrayDeque is fast, flexible, and great replacement for stack or linked list when you need both stack and queue behavior. So, and that brings us to the end of this session. I hope this beginner's guide helped you to understand how ArrayDeque works, both in theory and in practice. So thank you so much for watching, and happy coding.